Winter in the taiga does not forgive mistakes. That day, the sky was low and heavy, as if pressing the earth beneath it. The helicopter was flying over an endless ocean of firs and larches, when suddenly the engine choked with a strange metallic rasp. The pilot didn't have time to say a word. Only a sharp tilt, a deafening crash, and the world turned upside down. The impact was so powerful, it felt as if the taiga itself had trembled. When silence returned, it was terrifying. The girl didn't regain consciousness immediately. First came the cold, savage, piercing, like thousands of needles stabbing her skin. Then pain in her head and a loud ringing in her ears. She opened her eyes and saw wreckage tangled among the trees, twisted metal, and a black scar cutting through the snow. She was alone. Her name was Alina. She had been flying on a work trip, a short flight, nothing dangerous, or so she thought. Now there was only the endless winter taiga around her, a gray sky, and the wind howling as if warning her. Here, fate rules, not humans. She crawled out of the wreckage, barely able to stand. Her jacket was torn, one glove lost, her breath bursting out in white clouds. She screamed, first loudly, then weaker, but the taiga answered with silence. Only distant cracks of trees and snow falling from branches broke the stillness. As darkness began to fall, fear became almost tangible. Alina understood. If she stayed here, she wouldn't survive the night. The frost was growing stronger, and her strength was fading. So she walked. She chose a direction and kept moving, sometimes falling, sometimes stopping just to breathe. And then, when hope was almost gone, a dark shape appeared among the trees. A cabin, old, crooked, with a soot-blackened chimney, and a door reinforced with metal sheets. She didn't believe her eyes until she touched the frozen wood. The door gave way with a mournful creak. Inside it was dark and smelled of smoke, old timber, and something alive, as if someone had been here not long ago. A tin mug sat on the table, firewood neatly stacked in the corner. That saved her life. With trembling hands, she lit the stove. At first the fire resisted, then it flared up, and warmth slowly returned to her body. Alina sat by the stove, hugging her knees, and for the first time that day, allowed herself to cry. Night in the taiga is special. Outside, the wind howled. Somewhere far away came a long, chilling howl. Wolves, or something else, she couldn't tell. Every sound beyond the walls felt like a threat. She barely slept, flinching at every noise, listening to cracking ice and footsteps that never came. By morning, the stove had gone cold. The frost crept back in, but now she felt something else, the presence of another human, as if someone knew she was there. At dawn, she heard footsteps, heavy, confident, snow crunching, the metallic clink of gear. The door swung open. A man stood in the doorway, wearing a thick hunter's jacket, a rifle over his shoulder, his beard covered with frost. His gaze was cautious, but not cruel. He slowly lowered the rifle when he saw her. "Who are you?" he asked in a rough, calm voice. Alina tried to answer, but her voice failed. She only nodded and closed her eyes. Her strength finally gave out. She woke up later. The stove was burning again, and a mug of hot tea stood on the table. The man sat across from her, silently making sure she was alive. His name was Mikhail, a local hunter. He had been checking his traps and noticed smoke rising from the cabin, a rare sight in winter. Without that, she wouldn't have survived. He didn't ask unnecessary questions. In the taiga, words are precious. He gave her warm clothes, food, and said that it was a day's walk to his home, but he knew a shorter trail. When they stepped outside, the taiga no longer felt so hostile. With Mikhail, it was different, strict, quiet, but honest. He walked ahead, breaking the path, occasionally looking back to make sure she was still following. Along the way, he told her he lived here alone. That winter was his element, that the taiga takes the weak, but sometimes lets those who fight return. By evening, they arrived. When rescuers came for Alina a few days later, she was no longer the same. There was depth in her eyes now, calm, and respect for silence. As they said goodbye, Mikhail simply nodded. "The taiga accepted you," he said. "That means we'll meet again." The helicopter rose into the sky, and below remained the endless white taiga, and a small cabin where one winter night the cold decided to spare a human life.